Welcome to my kitchen, Karen's kitchen we'll call it. Today you're in for a treat. We're gonna make my favorite cookie recipe, molasses cookies, Miss Kitty's molasses cookies. This is a friend and family favorite. My mom made these for our family every year, and I keep her tradition alive. After she's passed, I've made these cookies every year for my family, and then I also, if you're a friend of mine, you've probably received these cookies because it's something that's near and dear to my heart and that I love to pass on. They're the perfect spiced cookie, not too much spice, just the perfect amount of spice. They melt in your mouth, they're crunchy, they're absolutely delicious, and I think that you're gonna really enjoy them. As you can see by the card here, it is well loved. This is the card that my mother wrote out probably when she was my age or younger, and we've used this recipe and this card for many years, as you can see. Very, very, very well loved. With 1.5 cups of shortening and 2 cups of white sugar. You're going to go ahead and cream that together until it's nice and fluffy. Feel free to use any kind of molasses, but for the last 40 years and beyond that, when my mother would make this is the molasses brand that we'd use. It's grandma's, it's our favorite, and I highly recommend it, but of course you can use any kind of molasses that you prefer. Add 2 eggs and 1/2 cup of the molasses. And I'm sure you probably already know this. This is a hack that has been around forever. But when you use anything sticky, peanut butter, molasses, corn syrup, go ahead and spray your measuring cup before you do that. And it'll make it easy to come out. It won't stick and it'll be easier to clean up. So you go ahead and add that to your shortening and your sugar, and you're gonna beat well. We have our shortening, sugar, molasses, and eggs all combined. Your batter should look like this. I went ahead and used my hand beaters, but you can definitely use any kind of utensil to go ahead and mix this together. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add our dry ingredients, and I've sifted in this bowl 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, cloves, and cinnamon. Very simple. And just a reminder, make sure that you check the expiration dates on your spices. For me, I tend to keep my spices way too long after the expiration date. So every season, I've gotten in the habit of I go ahead and toss everything that's expired and then replace that in just one run right before like the holidays, before I start doing a lot of baking and cooking. So we'll go ahead and add our flour mixture, sifted flour mixture, into our creamed shortening and sugar. We'll combine that until completely combined. Just takes a little bit of muscle. It is a bit of a drier batter once you've got all the flour in there, but it'll be worth it in the end. All right, everything has been combined in the bowl nicely. No white streaks of flour. So now we'll go ahead and roll them out, and we're going to roll them in sugar. I like to weigh and measure my cookies so everything is uniformed, everything cooks evenly. It's just, and every cookie looks the same. I like to do that. Of course, you don't have to. You can just go ahead and pull out what you think is the appropriate amount. Roll it in a ball and roll it in sugar. So I'm going to make my cookies a little bit on the larger size today. I'm going to do about 3 ounces of cookie dough and just give that a roll. Roll it in some sugar. Nice thing is these cookies you don't have to refrigerate before you bake them. So I'll just continue on. And portion out my cookies here, and then we will bake them off. They go into an oven of 350 degrees, and I like to, one of the tricks that I've learned is that I like to leave the pan that I'm going to be using to bake my cookies in the oven as it preheats. That way the bottom of the cookies get a nice like brown tone to them, kind of caramelizes with the sugar that's on the cookie. I just think it makes a better textured cookie. I don't always get the 3 ounces, but I get close. Once you do this for a while, I think you kind of just do it naturally, automatic. Do you guys measure out your cookies? Do you weigh them out to keep uniform and well uniformed, or do you just do it natural? I think there's no wrong in either way. Just whatever you prefer. Also, do you have a favorite recipe that you use to carry on a loved one's honor or their memory? I think that cooking is a wonderful way to honor somebody that has passed that was special in your life. And my mother was certainly a wonderful baker and cook, and taught my sister and I a lot about how to work in the kitchen. And fun fact about me, I actually decided that I was going to go ahead and pursue a career in pastry. I ended up having my own cake business. I went to pastry school and opened up my own cake and bakery. And then I ended up having my daughter and decided that I needed to spend time with her because, as we all know, if you're a mom, time goes so quickly, and I wanted to be present in her life, and running a bakery was 2 full-time jobs. So I got about 17 cookies out of that batch. They're about approximately 3 ounces each. What I'll do with these, I'll go ahead and put them in a Ziploc bag and keep them in our freezer. So when my husband and I want a sweet treat, we'll just pull out a cookie, bake that off, and normally just split that. So kind of pre-portioned, at the ready. If you have friends or family over and you need something real quick, it's always nice to have these available in the freezer. Okay, my cookies are out of the oven. So 350-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just watch them depending on how brown you like your cookies. This is how I like my cookies baked. A little bit darker around the edges, a little bit soft in the center. That gives a nice crunch on the edges, and then when you get the center, it's nice and melty and soft. Wonderful cookie. Let's give it a try. Still warm, just came out of the oven. Oh yeah, that brings me right back to childhood. I love you, Mom. This is for you too, Kelly. I love you. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season. I hope you give this a try. Let me know if you give these cookies a try and what you think. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe and be a subscriber. And I'll see you next time. Bye.